Hello, greetings. Welcome to earGROUND New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Malcolm. Welcome to the platform that speaks to Zimbabwe's amazing new voices. And today I'm going to be speaking to an artist. His name is Ulenni Okandlovu. This is a multidisciplinary artist. He's multidimensional. He's doing so many things from visual art, theater, dance, music, and even his music, his style, his approach to music is quite fascinating. But before we get much into that detail, I'm just going to give you a snippet, a glimpse into some of the work that Ulenni is working on and has worked on. Stay tuned as we cross over to Ulenni. Until next time, we're coming through.
You out ngomgqibelo, can I take you out ngempela viki, can I take you out for the weekend, so hamba sonke makuphela iviki, let's hit the road, mhlawumbe ngestimela, we can do madobosi, so phuza umqombothi, mhlawumbe folosi, so bethwa ngumoya, mhlawumbe folosi, so bethwa ngumoya, uzohitchhike nami yini na, uzobackpacka nami yini na, uzohitchhike nami yini na, uzobackpacka nami yini na, so bonela.
Welcome to earGROUND. Thank you so much for joining us. For those that are joining us now, I'm going to be speaking to an artist. His name is Ulenni Okandlovu, who's an artist who grew up, was raised in Bulawayo, but he has done pretty much so much time in Harare, where he's been making a lot of art. He's still connected to his roots from even the visuals that he has been posting, and in his videos, you still see a lot of his roots, even in the text, in the language, in the feel, in the vibe. Ulenni, unjani mfethu?
Brother man, engiyaphila baba unjani?
Mina ngiright mfethu.
Thank-
Ulenni
Thanks for
Okandlovu, I know you for so many years, and I think the first time that I knew you were working with Power, doing media, doing a whole lot of things. Now I see you, fashion, art, music, a whole lot of things. Who's
So
Ulenni?
it's fun. So before I go there, it's fun how the first day that I met you, I just had my press card. So I was in the city. It was first time coming to Harare. So I had my press card. I was still studying journalism. Then you were
Yes,
hosting GB Liga. That's 2012, right? By
yes.
the garden. So I was like,
I
it's the
remember
weekend.
that.
Where can I go? Then I came through. I had a press card from college. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me just. Then I went to the gate. Then I'm like, I'm a journalist. I'm a student journalist. Then the guys were there. They're like, no, let's co-plot. Then you let me in. That was the first time we met. Yeah, and it's funny today we're doing this. I was just went to visit a friend, Wycliffe. I was doing an interview on him for some
Great.
site, so I'm still doing that. But hey, it's been a crazy journey.
Wow, it's been a
So
minute, it's been a journey, and take us back like when that journey started. I mean, doing media, doing art. Where exactly did all of this start?
so for me, instead of when I was, when you're growing up, like now,
Mhm.
our setup here is always like, all right, cool. You wanna do art, you wanna do music, or you wanna do art, or you wanna do fashion. Just have something that is more like a fallback plan or something that parents can understand and say like, all right, cool. You wanna do. So for me, it was like, you wanna do music. It's something that you can do it at your spare time. What I do fashion is something that you can do it at your spare time. We can't pay fees for that. We can only pay fees for something that we show off. So that's when I ended up choosing journalism because it was close to what I wanted to do and getting spaces that can actually go to what I want to do. I know that if I'm doing journalism, I'll be able to also do music. I'll be also able to also explore art also explore fishing and all other things that are close to media. So yeah, that's why I chose the museum. So it ended up that's what I'm still doing. So yeah, that's what it
Wow.
is.
That's quite interesting there. I mean, media journalism, you've got a very fascinating journey because I also come from the media side. But what
Yeah.
I never really had is the art side in terms of being a practitioner, apart
Oh
from maybe
yeah.
graphic design, which I do, you know.
Mhm.
So are you still practicing as a journalist, or is something that you're like, look, you know what, I'm just gonna go for my passion, I'm gonna focus on the art?
So I'm doing art part time. That's why on the new track I say I'm a part time rapper, a full time innovator. Like I was just something exploring things that I do. So for me, still that maybe I haven't really put 100% on music. Then I do music, I do other things, but for me, it's you know how it is. You have to have something that's sustainable. So you need to focus on other things, then balance it with what you're passionate with. So for me, I'm still on that phase where I'm still trying to try. Cool. I love music, and the kind of music that I'm doing, or the kind of other art forms that I'm doing, are not yet mainstream, so they are not bringing that much, like in terms of financial side of things. So I have to do other things that are sustainable to keep me going and supporting the passion that I'm passionate, the other craft that I'm still invested in. So yeah, that's what I
Great. And
do.
let's talk about the music that you make. How do you define it? Because I pick a lot of influences in there. What would you call this genre or this style of music?
So the track that we just played is called "Can I Take You Out." That track is heavily influenced by I don't I'll call it it's still Afro pop, but I'll call it the Southern Afro pop because it's heavily influenced by the sounds of Southern Africa. Because there's Afro pop that is heavily influenced by the sounds of West Africa and other several African countries. But our that one is heavily influenced by I call it the Southern Afro pop because it has influences from the I love Mama Jaiva and George Spanda from Zim, the Soul Brothers from South Africa, a bit of Bagana. So the approach, even on the vocals, there's a bit of Bagana influences, then the beats and other organs borrowed a lot from the Soul Brothers style of music. So that's for that track. Then the other sounds. So for me, my music is a bit each and every track is on its own, or each and every phase, or each and every project has its own sounds where I'm like, all right, cool. At this moment, I'm trying to work on this, or at this moment, I'm pushing this. So it's divided. Like there's times where I can rap, there's times where I can do like spiritual music, where I'm more like spiritual. Well, I'm really connected to what I'm doing. Then there's other music that I'm going to do in a way like what I call I want to communicate this or I want to push this because we do a lot of things that are food culture related. So if I'm like, all right, cool, I want to push this, maybe on the second culture, on the fashion culture, I just use music as a medium because for me, music is still a medium that I'm like, all right, cool, it's easier. People gravitate to music quick. So if you want to push a certain thing, you can always use music as a medium. And it also allows you to push a lot of things, like, because it can be audio, there's audio, then there's the video, and that also carries a lot of things that you want to push at a given time. So defining my music is a big trick. So it depends. I think I can always explain a track by track. Like, right, this sound is that, this sound is that, this sound is that. So defining it as a broader thing might be a big trick because today I feel like I want to talk about this, then I just figure which media is really in terms of genre, which genre can carry this or which genre can carry that, or which elements can carry that. But the music that I really love, the music that I do for music, not pushing other things, is more of the very traditional music. So it's those stories, or it's those stories, but they are also the songs have a bit of traditional, like percussions, then there are some synths, and then there are some elements that are electronic, a bit electronic. So yeah, that's the music that I do. It's more like a hybrid music. So it's
Wow,
fused with the more
great.
global sounds.
Great. And you mentioned there that you making music, you know, and your music is a medium. What do you seek to communicate? What's mainly contained in the music that
Uh,
you've been making?
so for me, it's always been that situation where like how best can we carry our stories, tell our stories like in a global platform without us diverting much from who we are or without us being carried away by trends or something by what's the global music market what the global message like what are, like there's so many messages that are carried on the music right now, but for me it's always like how best can we also carry our stories and represent them in those bigger platforms without us changing our narratives or talking about things that we don't really know just for the sake of the market or things that we don't really relate to just because of the market. Like when you talk about this, the market can respond. So for me, it's always like, all right, cool. I'm from Matopos, I'm from Matabeleland. What stories can I carry, or what heritage, or what certain things can I carry or package and preserve, than have them being things that are talked about in a global space without us saying, all right, this is Zimbabwe, or this is what. So for me, it's always our stories. Yeah, it's always that. Like I'm trying to talk about our stories and put them in that space where like they are also stories that can be consumed and preserved on the global market.
Great. And I mean, telling that alternative story, alternative from what is regarded as mainstream in Zimbabwe. We are a Zim dancehall country. This has been the music that is dominated for the past 10 years. And I've come across so many beautiful music, including, the works that you've produced and other artists, which I don't really seem to find, you know, getting into the mainstream space so easily. How has been the experience for you?
So like I think that's just an assumption that it says same dance or country,
Hmm.
but it's Zimbabwe is not like this. Zimbabwe is not Harare. Harare is not Zimbabwe. Harare is within Zimbabwe. So
Yeah.
dancehall is dominant in Harare. Like I know, like it's because it's most of the dancehall songs are in Shona, and I don't know how many percent, but the majority is Shona speaking people. And the other factor is just that, but in like dancehall is not big. It's big in Harare and it's big on the mainstream platforms because there's the centralization issues. There are a lot of things are centralized.
Hmm.
The big radio stations are in one city, so those have access. And the test maker, maybe the test makers on radio, the laptops, or they are driven by the, I don't know what was really what makes it. But for me, I'm like, cool. What's up or whatever is happening is what's happening, and for alternative music or for other music forms, it's okay. Wherever the stage that is there, ways at, like I don't see. I know like should be getting maybe more coverage and stuff, but I feel like it's always good. Like if the underground culture is growing like that, it's okay. Because for me, my music is more of an underground culture, and a lot of things that I'm doing is still it's a subculture thing. So I'm not worried much about the mainstream stuff. I know like maybe when time is right, it will happen. And
Great.
it'll happen one time is right. It'll happen. So for us, what's been important and what I think is important for everybody who's doing alternative stuff, always doing something that is not mainstream. The most thing that you have to focus on, build an audience, build a culture, build a space where you can have people come to your events or have people support kind of because for me at the moment we have some events that we do like we get to like we haven't posted public the way you invite people publicly. You only post them when it's done, but we still have about maybe 60, 70 people coming through to an event. We're like, oh, cool.
Yes.
Everybody came here, they came to support that. It's unlike so for me my word was if I start pushing my music or forcing my music on radio or radio audience is the audience that's been built over the years and they can always spit you out at any moment. Like the DJ plays you today on radio because they heard your music. Then the audience that's been built maybe from around 2004, they vibe to it. The moment another artist comes in, they can just, so that audience is not yours. It's just already audience that was built over the years. If they love the stuff, they can love it. But the most important thing is, if whatever you're doing, just be able to be in a space where you can build a certain audience that follows you
Right.
with or without the radio. So that's what's really important. That's why we should build much on. And dancehall is doing well because it's been years and years. I think how it evolved from maybe other groups to what it is now.
Yes.
They deserve what they're getting, and it's been something that has been built. So what we need as the alternative music or other music genres, we just need to build up to a point where it can't be anymore.
Wow.
So I
Great.
think, yeah.
And let's talk a bit about what you are building on and what you've built in the past. How much body of work do you have? Is this your debut album, the one that you're about to drop on Friday?
Yeah, that's the first one. Cause but I've done a lot of music from my back. Like
Hmm.
from, I've done like been doing this since I was very young. So it was more of me just I love music, I love fashion. I was always do those things, but not maybe on a professional level or on a space where you're like, oh, cool, I'm doing this as a profession. It was just me doing what I was doing, customizing covers, making music. So lately, been in terms of a solid project, yeah, it will be the first solid project that I'm putting out. I've never done an EP, I've never done an album. It's a dropped a few singles. So the reason why I was doing that was because I never had structures or anything to support that, like where you put out music, like having seen music from a journalist perspective,
Yes.
also seeing it from a fan perspective, and also seeing it as a project. As somebody who's doing music, like has taught me a lot. Like when you see, like I've seen a lot of people like make music, but get big on radio, pop on radio, but fail to monetize that back to the like. So it's been like I'm like, oh, cool. What's the point of putting out a lot of music without structures of how you can monetize it, or without certain structures to push it further? Because you want to be in a space where you're like cool, I have the biggest song in the country, I have the biggest album in the country, but can't still like comes with a lot of unnecessary pressure. Now you can't work in the space, you can't even eat my food in my space because now there are certain expectations. People are like, oh, shit, you have the biggest song in the country and Urufamba Mdotos that put it on see downtown meters. Like for me, it's always been like I try to balance and also grow like cool. Now I put out my album, whatever it does for me is a gem. Like cool. I'm putting out this album because of this and that and that and that. This is what I want to achieve. So now I no longer have that pressure where I have to worry much about my cool life and album out. Then unnecessary pressure and stuff. So it's part of the journey that I'm pushing. So I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it. So it's just a phrase that I'm like, cool.
Oh, great, great. Awesome. Wow. Thanks a lot. And let's talk about the new project, which is dropping on Friday. Why the name The Last King of Matebelele?
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about it. Why you calling yourself the Lost King of Mathabeland? So there is my picture on the album cover. The music's me, so but the name itself is talking about looking at the journey of the last king of Mathabeland. So there is a huge narrative, or there's a story like if you started history at school, the last king of Mathabeland that I was talking about was Loben Muller, and how the history books tell us how he died. So it's us like looking into that narrative and learning from that and seeing, because what I always say is we are in the same path but different times. So the journey that Lopemula have is the same journey that we in. If we don't learn from this journey, we are to repeat the same mistakes, but now it's more intellectual property and more on other things, and things have just changed slightly. So for me, putting that time is more reflecting onto his journey and also reflecting, celebrating him like as our king, and also trying to push the narrative because it's based. So that title is an introduction to the project that I'm working on next. called Last King of Maternal. The script, a movie script, is fictional novel that I wrote sometime around 2017. So I'm still building on it, but it's called The Last King of Maternal. So it's more of us shifting a narrative where we are told that Lobengula died of chicken pox, or some say he drowned, but he didn't drown, he didn't die of chicken pox. Like a lot of things happened after that. He crossed the river, but the project that I'm doing is talking about how when he got to Shangani, it's a fictional thing. How when he got to Shangani River, he transcended, he didn't die, but he went up to meet the other gods, the gods. So it's a fictional thing, but it's based on that. So it's more like an introduction of the next phase that's coming up. But at
Great.
the same time, there are some tracks that, because it's more of the music project is focusing more on the personal journey. So that's why I had to pick that figure that had an amazing journey. So it's
Great.
somehow connected, yeah. So
And are we expecting any visuals anytime soon?
yeah, like so on that project. So after finishing the project, I thought of, because I also do a lot of things that are street culture related. So I thought of what element can we put on to also push the other things that we're pushing within the music. So I divided the music into two. There's the side A and the side B, where the side A is more on my personal journey, the spiritual music, and the other elements. Then side B, it has a lot of elements where we're pushing a lot of things like from the music, from the street culture, urban culture. So the first video that we did edition for the public party. So on that we have the visuals that will be dropping soon for the track that features my cousin Malam Gorgeous. It's called Let's See, it drops sometime ago. So I think that'll be the first video that will drop. But after, I'll shoot a lot of visuals that will kind of, because for me it's not complete. If the audio is not complete without the visuals, because visual when I'm writing music, I start with the visuals. Like I think first the concept of the video, or like I see the video first, then write the words after that. So yeah, I'll be shooting a lot of things. If I get time before the year ends, then I'll drop that much time also. I think I'll push this project like for wall to all of 2022.
Awesome. Before we go, I just want to ask about your style. You've got such a unique style and approach to fashion and approach to branding. What informs that style and your sense of fashion and color and uh, you've got something that I would say is strikingly unique in terms of approach, in terms of how you brand yourself, how you package yourself, and in every space.
So first of all, I designed some PCs as well, and number two, I've been thrifting since I was in primary. I've been thrifting a lot. Like I used to thrift a lot, and our family used to thrift, and so that inspired like in terms of even the colors and stuff. Like I've been like if you thrift, you get to see a lot of things that you don't see on the shops that we have. Like you get to see stuff manufactured from the 60s, 70s, 30s, whatever. So that gives you that diversity and stuff. Then yeah, so also it's a form of expression really cool. I would love to say this, I would love to do that, but the best way I can do that is to use the clothes and stuff. Also, it's exploring that freedom really cool. I want to do this, I want to explore this, how can I explore it? Yeah, so it's just it's more of expression, it's just expression. Really cool to get feeling that like this, how can I go about it and just dress up. And then this was inspired by a friend, like this trowel. I don't know if you know a trowel. Do you know a trowel? It's an accessory that a friend of mine like used to work with these items. Like, oh, I love this. Then was wearing it one day, so I'm like, oh, let me try this. So it's you get inspired by different people, people around you, your peers, and also there's social media where you more like find yourself. Like with social media, I think instead of a lot of people tend to copy what's happening, but for me with social media, it's more like it helps you to find your family. It helps to find people who are like minded. So surprised like maybe doing something here, you're the only one who's doing it. Then just get on the internet to surprise that a kid maybe in Turkey or so or Austria Hungary is doing something similar to that. Like, ah, cool. So what I'm doing is something really cool. So like, there's so many things that will inspire my freshmen. Also, the other the other greatest inspiration, hang around a lot with visual artists, people who are painters, sculptors, and a lot of people are. I barely have with people doing music, so I have a lot of create visual art studios. So like seeing the colors, seeing the shapes, seeing the art installations, and all of the things they inspire you to, like they inspire fashion, like something like, oh shit, this can be actually fashion, be a fashion piece, or this can be something that I can turn into fashion. So yeah, it's always like that for me. So, like that. Yeah, I stole that.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'd mute my sound. So I wanted to ask, in terms of before we go, where can people access the album when it drops?
So it'll be on iTunes, Spotify, on online stores. But what I figure out from at the moment is it'll be also available. It'll be available on those stores. But here, like I thought of the culture of online stores not yet big yet. So I feel like it's a dynamic. It's something that's really that way. Like when I used to drop my single, I never looked at it like that. But I just figured how the culture hasn't grown. Like so, I'll be having soft copies available local soft copies, so you can buy it directly, then get it through your email or via WhatsApp. So it'll be available locally like that, and also online. Those want to get it online for playlists and stuff, they can get it online. But it'll be available local. I'll share the details where people can buy it and online where they can stream it. So yeah, it'll be everywhere.
Awesome, awesome. Wow, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate, and I look forward to when it drops, to check it out and
Yeah.
also to share it. But what's the future? Where are you headed? Where are you taking your art?
So after this, the other reason why I dropped this project because I hadn't dropped music in a while, so I dropped the solo project of mine. Then early next year we dropping an EP, the Bond Space EP. So it's a
Mhm.
Bond Space is a duo project. It's me and Joshua Chimubiza. So it's under a
Yes.
record label. Yam Yam Records, it's a French record label. So we're dropping an EP. It's called Right Now
Mhm.
Records. Maybe we'll do some tours in Europe. So that's the next thing that's coming up early next year, and in the first quarter of the year. Yeah, it's one of my favorite projects so far. I'm gonna call it some time called still finishing up some collaborations and other things. So yeah, it's something to look forward for. Then next year, I think I'll also clothing line, like we've been doing some scale struggle pieces the other day, but I think we'll go official next year, like public next year. Um, Towards the end of the year or when, but it's something that I'm working on. Then yeah, there's a lot that we're doing. We'll be doing the party buses. So we're doing our first party bus on the 4th of December. Like this project we did with Shanghai. So she encouraged us
Yes.
to do the party buses. That's what also she was wishing could be done here to come with the idea of the bus for a video that
Yeah.
after the like guys, let's do the party buses. We got cool. Think about it. So we're doing the first party bus. It's called Can I Take You Out? It's called Can I Take You Out Party Bus Trip, National Party Bus Trip. So it's gonna be happening for this summer case from town. But yeah, there are details on social media. So I think that's what we've been doing. So we're collaborating with the bus service as well. Maybe next year we have there's a new bus that's being done. So next year maybe we have two buses just doing some tours around because I'm more into tourism, domestic tourism. So I did kind of take you out was first of that. initial concept of the video was on that vibe way, it's a party bus thing, but I thought of a small bus or small thing where you just go travel around.
Right.
But because of COVID, we ended up we want to show that it was during lockdown, so we ended up doing a small installation where we did a small setup that was just showing destinations or the places we wanted to visit. So it was just that small setup. But hopefully next year we'll be doing a lot of party passes and then promotion and stuff. There's guys from the party, there's the party passes, there's a lot to come. So yeah, I think we'll be doing a
Great.
lot of great next year.
Wow, awesome. Ulenni, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing your vision, your music, and your drive with us. We really love the work that we are doing and appreciate it. To everybody who's been watching, thank you so much for watching. To get in touch with Ulenni Okandlovu. He's on Facebook, Ulenni Okandlovu, that is his page, Facebook page. And on Twitter, it's Ulenni Oka. You don't finish the last part, so it's Ulenni Oka. That's his Twitter handle, and is also on Instagram. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, man. I really appreciate.
Thanks a lot for having me, bro. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. Amplified, thank you so much for tuning in. In a bit, we're going to be speaking to Bless, Ganja Tricks. So stay tuned.
Oh, dope. Hey, that guy is
Yes,
dope. Like I
he's
met him
dope.
some time ago. He's dope. He's dope.
He's really dope
Thanks a
and
lot, bro.
profound.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
thanks, man.
Thank you.
Until next time,
Bless.
I'm out. Great.
Bye.